Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility. It's Wednesday, new review day here on the channel. Once again, today I'm going to be covering an album that was covered recently on the review crew this past weekend by Phil Aston. But it's been something that's been sitting in my queue for a little bit, and I've finally had the chance to go and check it out. And I do want to get to it today, so I can, of course, move on to other things, right? So this is the, God, what is this, 13th studio album? Something like that. They've got over a dozen albums. This band is so prolific. Almost like every year, every other year, you get a new album from The Tangent. But this is The Tangent for one to Follow Polaris. You might be asking, well, if you didn't catch the review crew episode, well, Pete, what do you mean Tangent for one? Well, I'm going to show you in just a second, all right? So let's check this out. You might see there's Andy Tillison, band leader, vocalist, keyboard player, jack of all trades, songwriter. He's the only one seen here, right? So that probably tells you something. Oh, and there's pictures of Andy playing all sorts of instruments. Yeah. The Tangent for one, Andy doing everything. Lyrics, more shots of Andy. Nice little essay from Andy talking about the creation of this album and why it's just him playing pretty much everything. So Andy Tillison on vocals, all sorts of keyboards, drums, wind instruments, guitars, and bass. Plays a lot of it. Actual instruments, some of it using virtual technology. Basically, whatever he had to do to create this album, he did. The reason why is because the normal members of The Tangent, which include people like Theo Travis, Luke Mashin, Jonas Reingold, Steve Roberts, these cats are always busy doing all sorts of other musical projects. So when Andy had the songs ready for this particular album, calling up the band, and well, I got this commitment, and I got that commitment, I got this commitment, and he's just like, waited. Finally, he decided, you know what? Guys, do what you got to do. I'm just going to make this album myself, and we'll catch you on the rebound with the next one. So basically, that's what's going on here. So this is The Tangent for one, that one being Andy Tillison, doing everything. And, it still sounds like a Tangent album. It still sounds like The Tangent. What do The Tangent sound like for those of you who have never listened to their music before? Well, progressive rock, of course, but with quirky little bits of jazz and Canterbury. I always think that The Tangent, to me, to my ears, very much sounds like a more updated version of the Canterbury scene from the early mid-'70s. You know, Caravan, Hatfield in the North, Matching Mole, that sort of thing, right? Maybe a little Soft Machine, but definitely, lots of vocals, lyrics, all about all the crazy shit that's going on in the world, generally speaking. Andy is very, very keen on taking things that are happening out there in society that he doesn't really like too much and writing about them. And but there's just this quirky, fun, like pop sheen that kind of surrounds all this kind of like intricate little quirky musical arrangements and long songs and things like that. Saxophone and cool guitars and loads of keyboards, Hammond organ, synthesizers, Mellotron, electric piano, all that sort of thing. Very cool, fun music. And here he's doing it all by himself. And if you didn't know any better, if it didn't have that 4-1 attached to this, and if you didn't read the liner notes, you would just think this is the rest of the crew for the most part, right? Because it just doesn't sound all that much different. I have the regular version of the CD, and it's got 5 tracks and then a single version, or an edited version of one of the main tracks on the album, going from 11 minutes to 3. I'll get to that in a second. So, kicks off with The North Sky, which is just over 11 minutes long, because, this band likes to do long songs. Andy is big on lengthy epics. It's a good track. I like it. It's bouncy, it's complex, it's quirky, it's very British sounding, right? It's just what you'd expect from The Tangent. I like it a lot. Rocks in spots, too. It's got those quirky little jazzy bits, too. Then A Like in the Darkness. Next track, just over 8 minutes long. That's also pretty damn good. The Fine Line, I think, is really good. Maybe, there's a couple of songs on here that maybe take things down a little more serious tone for Andy. Maybe not. Your opinion on that may vary. My favorite track on here, though, is The Anachronism, which is 21 minutes long. That's really good. That's really... The big, huge epic is easily here my favorite track. There's some menacing keyboards here. There's the arrangement swirls and dives and goes all over the place. Some pretty tasty guitars and whatnot. For me, though, the keyboards are the star. It's just, again, and it rocks in spots. Really good. I always liked his vocals. To me, his voice sounds a little like Roy Stolt, former member of the Tangent, also, of course, the Flower Kings and Kaipa and whatnot. But I think The Anachronism is a terrific, terrific track, and I think ranks up with one of my favorite Tangent songs overall. Really, really well done. Then the last track is called The Single, from a reopened Time Capsule. And that's the shortest track on the album, other than the radio edit of the North Sky, at just under 6 minutes long. But it's so funny. It's a really quirky, fun little, like, kind of like pop prog tune. But, like, the lyric in there is just so fun, saying how, like, singles don't need to be 2 minutes long and all that sort of stuff. Very cool little lyric there, just kind of poking fun, I think, at the pop industry and, how all the little rules of what makes a good pop single have been for all these years. And he's basically saying, nah, that's all a bunch of nonsense. Here, I'll show you how in just under 6 minutes long I can come up with a really cool tune that would be great for the radio, right? So, yeah. I don't know. I dig it. What it's missing, I think, are because he obviously doesn't have the rest of the guys in the band who are all absolute virtuosos on their instruments. Here, Andy's trying to do everything. And, obviously, he's not the guitar player that Luke is. He's not the bassist that Jonas is. He's not the sax player that Theo is. Does an admirable job here. With Andy, you want to hear that voice and those amazing keyboards, right? But you get a little bit of everything else. So maybe from a overall virtuosity perspective, maybe it's not quite on the level of prior Tangent albums. But like I said, if you just kind of forget about who's on here and who's not on here and just listen to it, the songs, the arrangements, it sounds like the Tangent. It's really not all that much different. So I think this is an admirable album that he was able to complete this and have it sound so authentic to everything else this band has ever done that he's done with this band. So, and I dig it. I think the artwork is great. Of course, looks like a Tangent album. Everything about this, other than the 4-1, just screams the Tangent. So I dig it. 4 out of 5 star for me. It's like I said, maybe it's not the classic that some of the other albums in this catalog are or are close to being, but it's still, for the Tangent, it's still a really strong album, I think. So if you've heard it, let us know what you think down in the comments below. If you haven't, go give it a listen, report back, let us know what you think, and visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts, and please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, and our Cameo page. Thank you in advance for all your support there. We'll see you soon here with more stuff. Some of you probably wonder, Pete never wears sleeveless shirts. What's that all about? Well, I was feeling a little inspired because I just got done mowing the grass, and I was actually listening to this on my headphones, iPod thing, and I've heard it a couple times, and I think once I got off the lawnmower, I was feeling like I really want to talk about this like now. So rather than go change, I'm still wearing my old Mastodon shirt, and what are you gonna do? So anyway, I'm sure most of you don't care, but anyway, that's my review. Thanks for watching, everybody. The Tangent to Follow Polaris. We'll see you soon here with more. I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye bye.